Okay, well, the basic story was house prices have gotten way out of line with their long-term trend. And this really shouldn't have been hard to see. And again, none of this is 50-50 or 20-20 hindsight. I was talking about this back in 2002. You have a 100-year-long trend where nationwide house prices have just kept pace with the overall rate of inflation. And obviously, there's variations in there. We could point to, Manhattan property, I'm sure, has gone way more rapidly than the overall rate of inflation. California, we all know areas that have grown more rapidly. Other areas grew much less rapidly. Peoria, Illinois, I'm sure, St. Louis, Missouri. But nationwide average, house prices had just stayed even with the rate of inflation. Suddenly, beginning in the mid-90s, coinciding with the stock bubble, just as you had in Japan, house prices began to substantially outpace the overall rate of inflation. That continued after the stock market crashed in 2001. House prices actually started to grow more rapidly, fueled no doubt by the very low interest rates. At the peak in 2006, house prices had outpaced the rate of inflation by more than 70%. That translated into more than $8 trillion in housing bubble wealth. And this was what was driving the economy ever since the last recession. It drove the economy two ways. One, directly because we had this huge construction boom. Construction was hitting record levels, 2003, 4, 5, 6. We were building homes at a huge rate, very, very rapid rate. And secondly, because people had this money. They had equity in their home, the $8 trillion. They were spending based on it. A perfectly reasonable thing to do. Your home went from $200,000 to $300,000, as it did many places, sometimes $400,000. Perfectly reasonable. Take some equity out, maybe go on a vacation, buy a car, maybe pay for your kids' education. It might be a perfectly reasonable thing to do. But the point is, when that money disappears, as it did when the bubble burst, well, suddenly you can't consume anymore. And the construction boom, that disappeared. Construction fell back by 50%. So the reason that we're sitting here with close to 10% unemployment is the factors that were driving the economy. The construction boom, that's vanished. The consumption boom, that's vanished. It's all directly tied to the housing bubble. There's no real big mystery here. We had a bubble driving the economy. The bubble's gone. There's nothing to replace it.